Stage fright is real. Whether you're playing for friends and family around the campfire, an open mic, or for 40,000 people. But today I'm going to show you exactly how to conquer the fear of playing live as a guitar player. I'm Jake, and I've been a professional musician for 18 years, but when I started, I used to have such bad stage fright. I used to be so afraid to play live, I would throw up before every single gig. But today I'm going to share with you the 3 things that I started to do that changed that. So I could play for 40,000 people without breaking a sweat. Let's jump in and conquer this fear of playing live. First, you need to know your material. Now, I don't mean kind of knowing the song. I don't mean being able to read the chord chart. I mean, I could wake you up at 2:37 a.m., hand you the guitar and say, quick, play me blank, and you would be able to start right away. Now, this may look different for different kinds of guitar players. If you play a lot of jazz, it may not be knowing note for note what you're going to play, but knowing the changes and the melody for the song you're playing inside and out. So you can be confident you have something to say when you go to start soloing. But if you're a solo fingerstyle acoustic player, it may look like knowing exactly what you're going to do with what hand at what moment in each song. To do this, make sure you practice the parts that you don't play as often. Usually in a song, we're going to play the verse twice, the chorus 2 or 3 times, but the bridge only once. And some of the transitions between sections also only happen one time. Listen to yourself play. Film yourself, watch it back and see what parts you stumble over so you know exactly where you need to practice. Focus on the weaker areas. That way you know the entire song as well as you know the beginning and the end. Now you really know the song, but what happens if you still make a mistake? Tip number 2 is you need to practice mistakes. When you practice, you want to set aside some time to make an intentional mistake and practice what you're going to do if you make a similar mistake during a performance or a gig. Miss a chord? Practice getting the next one right. Get a little out of the groove or off time? Practice finding where you are with that backing track or metronome and getting back on. Did you miss a lick in your solo? Practice staying calm and not trying to play a flurry of notes that kind of highlight that you just made a mistake, but instead not make a face, stay calm, and keep playing. Mistakes will happen. But if you practice what you're going to do when they happen, they're going to be much less noticeable when you're playing live or at a gig, and your heart won't race, your palms won't sweat, because it's just something that you've practiced a bunch instead of something new and unexpected you're having to deal with for the first time during the performance. So now we know how to practice our material so that we feel confident. We know what to do if we make a mistake, but how do we get over that pit in our stomach when we're waiting to be called up to play next? And that's tip 3. Get out there and do it. The only way to become truly comfortable with playing live is to get out there and play live and to have experiences playing where it goes well and you have fun, but also have experiences where you make mistakes. And though it's not fun, you realize that it isn't as big of a deal as you initially thought. Now, if getting out at an open mic feels like too much, maybe you have a few family members or some friends you could play for. If you don't have any friends or family you feel comfortable showing just yet, play for your pet, or even a video recording of yourself is more real than just playing with the metronome. And if you don't have anywhere to play that you feel comfortable, I'd love to invite you to join me at skool.com/guitar in my free course and community, where you can share what you're working on with over 1,000 other guitar players and me for encouragement and positive feedback, helping you stay excited about making progress on guitar. The idea is to have firsthand experience of playing live, playing the guitar in front of other people, to see that it isn't as big of a deal as you thought it was initially. Whether you do great or whether you make a mistake, that the stakes aren't as high as it feels when we get nervous. Now, I want to hear, have you had stage fright before? And if you have, how did you conquer it? How did you get over the hump and get out there and play for and with other people? Now we have a plan. You've got 3 things you can do to tackle your fear of playing guitar live in front of other people, but there's one more thing that you might be doing. In fact, that you're probably doing in your head that'll keep you afraid to play live. Thankfully, once you know about it, it is really easy to fix. The mistake is thinking that the people listening, that your audience, know what you were trying to do. The mistake is thinking that they're going to even notice when you make a mistake. See, the truth is, virtually no one in the audience is going to be a musician. And even if they are a musician, odds are they don't know this song or your instrument or how you're approaching it or playing it. They're not sitting listening with a set of expectations for what you're about to do. In fact, the biggest clue the audience has to a mistake is your mistake face or wincing or doing something right after the mistake to highlight that it wasn't what you intended to do. So the calmer you stay, the more likely they'll attribute even a really wrong chord to your weird taste instead of you making a mistake. I said the audience doesn't have expectations, but you do. And that's why when you finish playing or especially performing, you remember your mistakes more than the 1,000 right things you did. You remember the 5 things you didn't get quite right. But remember, the audience doesn't have an expectation of exactly what you're going to do, so they're not going to remember the 5 mistakes. They're going to remember the 1,000 things that sounded great. Now that you're ready to tackle your fear of playing guitar live, if you need some songs for your next open mic, jam, or campfire, 3 of these 4 are perfect for memorizing and learning to sing along.